The fuel that causes most distress comes from wrong focus. There's a spiritual power that is called focus. What we focus on, we tend to multiply it and to give it power in our lives. When Peter was walking on water, when he looked at the storm and feared, that's when he began to sink, and the water gained power to make him sink because Peter changed his focus from Jesus to the problem. Also, when we focus even on a small issue, it can become big in our mind to the extent that we lose control of all the other or some of the good things that we have. We see this when Eve was tempted by the old snake. She focused on one tree that God had said no to over other million trees God has given her and made them available to her. And inevitably, she lost access to the tree of life and other good things she heard. Some people have very good husbands, but they only have one problem, and the wife focuses all her mind on that one problem that the husband has, to the extent that it covers all the good that the husband does. And instead of the wife living her life feeling loved and being in love, she lives all her life with resentment and unforgiveness. Even in schools and workplaces, churches, many people break relationships over one bad issue and forgetting all the other good that they have done together. They've prayed together, they've shared meals together, and they have helped each other in so many issues. But because of this one problem that arose today, they are not willing to solve it, but rather to break the relationship that existed before them, because the focus changed from the good to the bad. God said, "Behold, I lay before you good and evil." And when we focus on good, that's when good comes in our lives. But rather, when we focus on evil, evil multiplies in our life. This is why the word of God says that we ought to meditate on the word day and night. Then we will be fruitful. Because when we focus and meditate on the good multiplies. But when we focus and meditate on the evil, we practice and begin to be evil. Evil will even become bigger than ourselves. This is what we do even with God. When life gets tough, we forget all the good things that God has done in our life. The word of God tells us to give thanks to God in all circumstances. It's telling us to focus on the good rather than the bad. It is also written, "Fear not, for I am with you." Because when we focus on God who is with us of our present problem, we gain courage and we defeat the problem that is in front of us. When a man focuses on what he does not have, it removes genuineness, and you do things not for their actual purpose or reason, but to get what he wants, giving birth to lying, theft, manipulation, selfishness, jealousy, and the love of money and envy. The person is not happy at all because they feel they are not complete. It's not a law that those that start with more, they end up with more. But it happens like that mostly in our world because those with less, they usually focus on what they don't have rather than on what they do have. We see this when Moses was being sent by God to free the children of Israel. Moses was asked by God, "What do you have?" When he was saying, "How will I prove to Pharaoh and Israel that God has sent me?" God said, "What do you have?" And Moses and God decided to focus on what Moses had. And God used what Moses had to do mighty and wonders. He used that rod for mighty and wonder things. Even on Jesus, when he was feeding the 5,000, the disciples had to give him what they had, the 5 loaves and 2 fish, and God did wonders with the little that they had. So we need to equip ourselves with a mindset that focuses on what we have rather than on what we don't have. When a man focuses on what they have, the man starts to feel content, happy, and they are able to love others because they will love themselves. For we know the law says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. They will do great things as they will receive revelations on how to use the things that they have, like what happened to Moses. And they are unstoppable because no matter what happens, everyone always has something, no matter how small, and that's all we need to get started.